disclosure, this is like empty. Don't you open the window? Pretend you're cooking. Is it enough counter space? Sorry. Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mel from my brand Mellipops. And today we're going to be talking about some heavier but really important topics. We're talking Artivism, we're talking friendship breakups, and drum roll please. My partner and I are moving in together, so we're also house hunting, renting. I'm excited to talk to you guys about exactly what Artivism is and the role of an artist when it comes to advocacy, especially in current events. So please stay tuned through the end for a mini lesson on two artists that were really interesting and awesome to learn about, or you can fast forward to the outro too, that's fine. The important thing here is learning. Honestly, I've been feeling a lot of, like many of you probably, if you found me, then we probably share some of the same perspectives on things. I've been feeling a lot of grief and honestly like powerlessness in the world lately, and I've chosen to encapsulate that into my art, and I kind of want to just share some process pieces this vlog. Also celebrate some little joys that I am personally celebrating. While there's some moments of joy that we're going to celebrate together in this vlog, the next 20 or 30 minutes or so are also a space for, you know, to sit with me and maybe feel your grief, feel your feelings, maybe create a piece inspired by whatever it is that you see in this vlog. Because really, like, one of the biggest thing an artist does in their art is like tell the truth, and also evoke emotions of others and throw their emotions onto the canvas. And that's kind of what I do with some of the pieces that I make in this vlog. I'll see you in the outro. I'll have some voiceovers here and there, and thank you for coming back, or welcome, and please don't ever leave. Full disclosure, this is like empty. This wasn't empty. That does.
That's something you want to learn. You'll hurt yourself a few times.
I will not.
Buenos días a todos.
Sorry for the super emo entry, everyone, but this one was kind of a rough day. Aside from not getting that house or not even getting a call back, I broke up with a friend of a couple of years today, and while I want to, keep the full story private, I do want to disclose that, we just didn't really line up in our core values, and she was kind of, I would say, like a silly, goofy, fun friend with some emotional attachments there. And then when we kind of tried to take our friendship a little deeper, I opened up the Pandora's box of asking, hey, I want to know, is this something that you care about? And she said no. So I just felt that continuing to invest like friendship energy into her was gonna end up being like a betrayal of just my character. And so ultimately we just kind of came to an agreement that it just didn't make sense to continue being friends after that Pandora's box was opened. So that sucked. And as you can see, I cope with it like I cope with everything, via art. See another house today. I have to be out of my apartment in exactly a week, so hopefully this one is a good match and doesn't have a million hidden fees in it like the other ones that we've been seeing. One place was total $1,600, and then with the pet fees and the resident rewards packet, whatever that means, plus renter's insurance, which I think was included in that, but still, renter's insurance should not be that expensive. Plus a quarterly sewage fee, you're gonna charge me for pooping. I don't know. Ended up being $200 over our budget. Anyway, the housing market is a scam, much like everything, but we need some place to live. Very excited because we are moving in together, me and my boyfriend, who I never show his face for privacy reasons. Can we just knock on my door? That's just roofers, which is fine. Okay, so hopefully this is the one. It has a shed for my boyfriend, and I could have my own potential little studio. I hope this is the one. Yeah, but we'll see. I'll show you guys kind of the inside of what it looks like, and we'll go on this journey together. I'm gonna come back and work on an illustration project that I have, my first paid one. Who am I? Let's hopefully find a house. Also, I got new glasses. Ooh, major glare, but then no good lighting. I buy direct, not sponsored, but should be. And if you've been here for a while, you watched me set up this cute little desk area that is now packed with just a bunch of stuff that needs to go in moving boxes. And as you can see, nothing is packed, and my aesthetic home is an absolute mess. And my studio assistant is taking a nap in the middle of his shift. You're out for Employee of the Month. You're out. I'm in.
It's across the street and you can look at it.
Yeah, and this is a good size for Bubby.
Which one is this?
I don't know.
It's probably north. So we'll get any direct sunlight.
It's looking good.
Baby, either way.
No, we don't need blinds. Just light all the time. We really love it, and Steven's coming home so we can apply right now, and fingers crossed that we get approved. Hello everybody, just checking in here. This is voiceover Mel. So our reoccurring theme of this vlog is to explore exactly what Artivism means and how important it is when you're advocating for things outside of our own community. While you sit back and relax and watch me paint this piece that helped me channel my own emotions, I would love to teach you a mini lesson on two artists that I learned about. Now, if you look up the word Artivism, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a compound word combining art and activism. The purpose of Artivism is to use creative expression to cultivate awareness and social change through various disciplines. So what this means is using your art, whether it be painting or dancing or cooking or etc., and calling for awareness for a specific cause. The two artists I want to talk to you about today are two artists who invoked that very theme into their artwork. So let's talk about the first one. The first artist is Simone Elizabeth Saunders. She's a textile artist and she uses rug tufting to create really powerful and sharp pieces with lots of beautiful colors. Some reoccurring themes in her artwork are themes of Black womanhood, diaspora, and ancestorship. And what diaspora is the intentional displacement of a group of people from their homeland. Simone wasn't always an artist, a textile artist as we see now. She was actually pursuing art and maybe producing while she was shadowing at the Obsidian Theater prior to returning to art school. Once there, she fell in love with the fiber department, and because of her theater background, you can tell that she really thinks about the narrative and character development in each one of her pieces. What I've really loved about her art and learning about it is that she researches Black history and current events to mesh powerful pieces of truth with beautiful and exquisite textiles. One of the pieces that she says launched her career is a piece that is called It Matters, which she created when she was graduating art school and at the height of the Black Lives Matter movement during the pandemic. She submitted it to the Bank of Montreal First Art Competition, and it was the national winner that year. That piece was made in collaboration with Takiki Walker for the Social Distancing Festival, which I'll include a link below if you want to check out other artworks from that festival. And the collaboration really just had both artists speaking verbally and in their pieces about how the mask mandate just further put on display the outright profiling that Black men were being exhibited to during the pandemic for wearing masks. She said in an interview, and I quote, "Black men who were wearing masks were being stopped by security guards, were being questioned, all because they were protecting themselves and their community. That, to me, illuminated the inequity of how the pandemic was further dividing communities, and so that is where that piece started." I really encourage you to check out the Social Distancing Festival and to check out Simone's other pieces because they are so powerful, and I will also link her website in the description so you can browse for yourself. Like the overall theme of this vlog, Simone's pieces, including It Matters, are an important element of truth and archive how history has shaped differently for different people, whether that's the pandemic or a digitally downloaded genocide. I really want to share a quote from Simone about what she hopes audiences take away from her art. She says, and I quote, "Most simply, it's a collection about uplifting Black womanhood and our joy and resilience. The title, Unity, UNITY, is essentially that. It's the coming together of a sisterhood." What she's speaking of is about an art collection where the works are hung a little higher than what is conventional. She says, and I quote, "I want the viewers to be looking up into these women's eyes, into these ancestors' eyes. Rather than confronting them at eye level, I just want that respect, that acknowledgement of Black lives." Continuing our mini lesson, our second artist that we are going to be looking at is Palestinian cartoonist Naji Al-Ali. Ali is probably most famous for his character, Handala. I will tell you more about Handala, but I want to tell you a little bit about Ali. Like Simone, Ali didn't start off pursuing art. He did draw in his spare time, but he was a car mechanic and he received his certificate in car mechanics. He was able to build his family a small home in the refugee camp where they lived, and in 1959 he actually enrolled in the Lebanese Academy of Fine Arts, formally pursuing art. However, he didn't graduate because he had so many frequent detentions, and due to his activism for the Arab nationalist movement and distributing pamphlets, it prevented him from completing his studies there. However, he did find a job as a teacher of drawing to children at a school in the city of Tyre. Eventually, a Palestinian author and journalist, Ghassan Kanafi, was the first one to publish Ali's drawings in a magazine, and this really became a launching point for Ali and his career as a cartoonist, editor, and illustrator, and even an artistic director in a weekly magazine called Al-Ali. Now, to tell you a little bit more about his most famous cartoon, the child's character Handala, first created by Ali in 1969. Handala is a 10-year-old child who will not grow up until he returns to his original homeland. He always appears with his back turned and his hands locked behind him to the audience, and he's become somewhat of Ali's signature in his drawings. Handala has appeared in thousands of political cartoons critiquing world powers. Let's call them they who must not be named. Even in his name, Handala is a form of resistance. Directly translated, it means a bitter fruit that even when you cut the roots, it always grows back. Bitter like the pain and intense long-term frustration of the Palestinian people, but also perpetually returning, again like the Palestinian people. Ali was assassinated in 1987. He turned his art into a pillar of courage that sticks with us past his assassination. A pillar of courage because he had the audacity to look the world in the eye, so to speak, and say, "Shame on you. You are complicit in this." His cartoons are famous all over the world, and he's the example of one man versus the world, considering who he was critiquing were and are major world powers. So please take a look at his cartoons. I will link the links in the description below. They use sarcasm and truth in a way that really leaves you reeling. I want to quote Ali directly in saying this. At first, he was a Palestinian child, but his consciousness developed to have a national and then a global and human horizon. He is a simple yet tough child, and this is why people adopted him and felt that he represents their consciousness. So in a way, I think we all now see ourselves in Handala and in Ali, not because we are the victims of displacement necessarily, but because we see the world powers for exactly who they are now and who they have always been, and we have turned our back to them now too. Okay, hi. One of the most important things to do when advocating for a cause is to contact your elected official. So we're going to do that together, and you're going to see that exactly how I do it. I also have phone anxiety, but I have a script that I'll maybe stumble through, but I'm calling. So let's do it. I've been using 5Calls, the app. You can also do 5calls.org if you don't want to install it or if you don't have the storage. And what you're able to do, I'll show a little what it does. You can set your location, and every day you can just go tap call for de-escalation and ceasefire in Israel and occupied Palestine, and it'll automatically take you to your representatives. And then all you have to do is tap your representative, your House representative, and your senators. So it'll take you through that. Okay, I'm nervous, even though I do this once a day now.
Office of Congressman Maxwell Frost, I may help you.
Hello, I'd like to leave a comment for the congressman, please.
Yeah, sure, please go ahead.
I would just like to thank him for advocating for a ceasefire in Palestine, and I just ask that he continue advocating and increase pressure into his fellow colleagues.
Okay, great. Can I get your name, please?
All right, thank you so much. Have a good one.
You too, bye-bye.
Okay, that's one. Now we're gonna call my senators. Here is what I say for...
Hello. Thank you for calling Senator Rubio's Washington, D.C. office. If you would like to leave a comment about an issue, please press 1. To hear our office hours or location, please press 2.
So this is what it sounds like.
If you are interested in setting up a tour or requesting a flag, please press 3. If you need to speak with a member of our office, please press 4.
We're gonna press 1. So it looks like we're gonna leave a voicemail.
Thank you for calling. Your thoughts and opinions are important, and we appreciate you taking the time. Please leave your comment after the tone.
Good morning. I'm a constituent from Orlando, Florida, and I'm just calling to urge Senator Rubio to advocate for an immediate ceasefire and humanitarian aid to Gaza. There are thousands of men, women, children, and animals suffering, and this is an imperative issue for myself. I'll not be voting for any elected officials in the upcoming election that do not support a ceasefire, and I will also be organizing my community to ensure that they do vote for candidates who support a ceasefire. Thank you. My gosh, it's always nerve-wracking. I'm not gonna lie, it's nerve-wracking, but we've been recording for like what, 5 minutes and one more left. The same thing, but I feel like if you see it happening, it's like not as scary. It's still scary, but it's important. The lines are disconnected. Call again. Okay, it keeps saying it failed for my second senator. I guess I'll just like call from my phone, but I wanted to record. So that's kind of like, you know, it took about 5 minutes. I'm sure you've heard this a lot, and I'm sure you hear this in a lot of different causes, like call your representatives. Like, it's important. The tallies matter. They do tally when they call. And if you say these like strong, powerful statements of, I will not be voting for blah, 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 if they don't advocate for this, then it really does make a difference. So this whole vlog is a lot about grief and loss and feeling a lot of powerlessness, but just a reminder that we do have a lot of power, and one of those powerful things we can do is like literally use our voice and make a phone call or write an email. But this is just an example. Okay, bye.
So, into her split meeting.
Thank you.
See ya. Yeah.
Bye. Much sound, but it's my last night in my house, my little girl pad that you've seen some vlogs in, but I've been in for like 3-4 years now. And tomorrow my girlfriends are coming over and we'll have like a mini bachelorette party kind of thing for me. Moving in with someone is like a step equally as big as marriage, but that's just me. And I just love living by myself. Excited, but I'm also, it's the end of an era because I don't plan on living by myself again, you know? So cheers to me. Cheers to my little girl pad. This was your girl pad too, Bubby. Sorry, Bubby. It's big. This is Mommy's new studio, Bloop. Hello again. So our reoccurring theme this vlog was learning more about Artivism, what it is, and kind of channeling our really strong emotions into our art. So thank you for joining me for this one. This vlog was pretty special to me. In my previous vlogs, I've been kind of sharing bits and pieces of myself, and I would say like this is the biggest one. At my core, I care a lot about people within my community and people outside of my direct community, and I'm just really grateful and excited to be able to share that with you guys. And like if you watched my last vlog and you subscribe because of that one, welcome, and this is who I am. So you watched me paint and draw some pieces on my iPad, and I kind of wanted just to, before you leave me, give you the purpose behind it. And while the purpose included connecting with my art, there was also a larger purpose behind it. The cards you made me watch, let's call them trading cards. And I say trading cards because the purpose of trading cards are to share information about a character or an athlete, typically done for like Pokemon or baseball cards. I decided to call them trading cards just because that's what I want them to be. So I made 3 designs. Some you watched me make, some you didn't. Maybe you watched me make it via my TikTok. Those 3 designs are paired on the trading cards with a QR link. The QR link contains resources and information on how to advocate. On this link tree is just some basic resources like the 5 Calls app, the 5 Calls website where you can call your representative. There's also a link to a website a Palestinian creator created called the Palestine Academy. Kind of like a one-stop shop to learn more about the history of Palestine and how this has not been happening for the last 2 months. This has been happening for the last 75 years. In the link tree is also some on-the-ground journalists and photographers that you should follow if you aren't already. One of the first things they teach us in elementary school is like primary and secondary sources in social studies, you know, where you should be getting your information and what that looks like. These are primary sources. These are people on the ground, and I really, really strongly suggest following them to learn more. The purpose of these trading cards are to encourage education and information. You might need to have a tough conversation with a friend like I have these last 2 months where, you know, it might come out really well and they might be like, hey, I don't know what's happening, tell me more. Or it might not come out that well. But either way, like this is a good piece to give them. I know you're just getting into this fight. Here's kind of a one-stop shop of what you can do to get started. You can even print these out on sticker paper and stick them to your water bottle or like sketchbook for easy access. The other purpose, perhaps the more important one, I encourage you to print these out on cardstock or just regular paper. If you can't do colored, like that's okay. I encourage you to print these out and leave them places. I'm in a book at Barnes & Noble, leave them in a gas station thingy. And it might be scary, but maybe hand them to a stranger on your way out of Target and be like, hey, if you want to learn more, here you go. If you already know, trade it to somebody else who might not know. I think art has a really strong role in advocating, because one of the first things it does, it evokes some kind of emotion, even if it's just curiosity. So my purpose with these was for somebody to see them who maybe doesn't know about Palestine, maybe isn't inherently a terrible person who just doesn't care. Maybe he's just someone who has been misinformed or who doesn't have the resources. My hope is that somebody sees something eye-catching and they are curious enough to learn. Also, full disclaimer here, the purpose of these trading cards are to spread information and education amongst your friends, families, and strangers. The purpose is not to deface public property, so please take care of yourself because you can get in trouble for that. So in addition to these, I also have a free watermelon wallpaper on my website as well. Both are free. Go to mellipopsart.com and download yours, start trading them today, and hopefully we can encourage some conversations and increase the advocacy efforts because it's too much. It's been too long. Download for free, share them, and follow me on Instagram and TikTok, and just tag me like when you post them, or tag me when you give it to a friend, or tag me when you're leaving it in a little as a bookmark at your local Target. So please follow me, please tag me. I really want to connect with more artists and just people who are, you know, learning their own form of artivism or just looking to art for comfort. And thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for all the new subscribers I've recently got in. If you're new here, this is a safe space, and I'll see you soon, okay?